Guys, good afternoon. Well, it is while I'm doing this. I just want to retrace some new information that a lot of people, there's a lot of arguments and bro science in gyms, isn't there, these days? So one of them I hear a lot is, how much protein do I need? How much protein do you need a day? And someone the really this reminded me, someone came in with I think it was the other morning. I was training about just 6:15. And this guy, bless him, came up to me, had my headphones in. This is in the morning. I went, he came with his phone. I went, oh, here we go. He says, you're good at nutrition, aren't you? I've been a professional in the industry for 32 years, so I'm not bad. I didn't say that arrogantly, by the way. It's just what I thought, because I don't always think what I say what I think. And he goes, is this diet any good for us? So I looked at this diet, it had protein, carbs and fats. And I went, well, I don't know, because what do you want to achieve? He said, oh, it's off an app and stuff, whatever, pay a few quid for. I said, oh, okay. So did that app ask you your somata type? No, but what's one of them? Well, you've got like ectomorphs, mesomorphs, endomorphs, different body types. Some people are naturally a bit chubbier, some people are very naturally muscular, some people are naturally skinny. I would go, you're an ectomorph looking at you, a little bit on the skinnier side, so if you're bulking, that's where you need to really look at the carbs in that, if anything. Oh, right. I said, what do you do for a living? I work on building sites all day. Okay, so did it ask you that? Your actually activity level in a day? No. Okay, are you pretty full on? Never stop. Okay, that's why you're training here at 6 o'clock, talking to me, asking me these questions. I said, to be honest with you, your protein's nowhere near enough. So oh, it's spot on. It's 1 gram per kilogram of my body weight. So yeah, it's not enough. Your carbs aren't high enough. Oh yeah, that is high. That's why are you asking me? So here's what I'd suggest to him. With him, if he was training and he's working all day, I'd have his protein levels between 1 and 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight, not kilogram, per pound of body weight, because of his physical exercise and his body type. So this is just a 1-to-1 basics. Fat levels around about the 100 gram mark. So 100 grams of good fats every day, not crisps, good fats. And the carbohydrate levels, because he's naturally lean and his metabolic rate's flying and he's so physical all day and getting into the gym, I'd be looking at between 3 and 4 grams per pound of body weight. So looking at his little chart that he had, that he's paying for on an app, that didn't ask him any of the questions that needed to be asked, I would suggest that he was needing another 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day. And that was in a 5-minute conversation. So be aware of apps. There was another guy I used to work with many years ago. I worked at somewhere that I had to work for extra money. So it was in B&Q to support my family. And I worked the night shift after doing a day shift on a building site. True story. This was a couple of years out from the health industry. And so I used to work manually all day, digging holes and carrying stuff in the building site all day. Get home, see my kids, put them to bed, have my tea, kiss my wife goodnight, start at 9 o'clock at night till 2 to 3 in the morning, putting out stuff on the shelves. And I met a lad who was really into his gym at the time. And he'd been bulking for 3 years. And they found out what I used to do and what I do. And I still had my supplement company. So that was the third thing I kept going. And he was like, oh, I've been bulking for 3 years. I said, oh, well done. So is this app? It was off an app. So Grace, it's only 15 quid a month. I went, okay, good. So what's that? 150, 170 odd quid a year. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's what 15 quid a month is, times 12, and whatever it is. He's like, oh, all right. I said, how have you done? 3 years. I put on £7. I went, what? So I looked at this app. He got it out at the staff room at 1 o'clock in the morning as we were having whatever he was bulking on, sweet potato and tuna. And I sat down with me Kit Kat and me protein shake and went, let's have a look then. So I wrote him out a diet program based on his physical activity. Now, he didn't work on a building site like me all day. I think he slept most of it to do the night shift, because I'm a warrior, obviously. So I said, you haven't got enough protein, you definitely haven't got enough carbs. So it's the same thing. This app didn't take into account what he did physically and what he trained like. So I met him and went training with him, and he didn't train very hard. So I taught him how to train hard, and I gave him a couple of sessions, And he knew how to train hard after that, about going through that pain barrier, squeezing, techniques, tempos and all that. So I said, now you're training properly, let's look at this. Now, if I'd give him the calculations I just said for the previous guy, so like 3 to 4 grams of carb, he'd have got fat. So we didn't. So we looked at what he was doing. We guesstimated through experience what he needed to do. So with him, it was 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body fat on the protein front. And we did, because of his bulking, 2 grams to 2.5 grams. And then we would see what happened in a month and we'd take it from there. 2 months later, he put on 7 pounds. That's what it took him with his app for £150 plus a year, whatever it was, to get 7 pounds, 3 years. So that's 3 years. Let's say it was 170 pounds. No, let's say 150 because my maths is rubbish. So that's 450 quid to get 7 pounds. Sitting with me for 5 minutes at 1 o'clock in the morning, eating his sweet corn and sweet potato and tuna, in a 5-minute conversation, he achieved the same thing in 2 months. So I think the moral of this story is, don't have too little protein, but definitely don't have too much protein. Speak to someone who knows what they're talking about. There's plenty of people out there, some great people out there, some great instructors out there if you've got a PT. If not, maybe have a few sessions with a good PT. Make sure they know what they're talking about. Be wary online. There's some great people online. There's some really rubbish people online. So just be wary. Do a little bit of research and be logical about it. See how you get on after 4, 5, 6 weeks. If things aren't happening then, we need to change it, didn't you? You need to change it, don't you? So, protein, how much to have. If you're training regularly, you're pretty active in the day, guideline is 0.8 to 1 gram per pound. Carbohydrates, if you're trying to lean down, go for a same. Go for about 1 gram carbs per pound. If you're trying to bulk a bit, look at between 2 and 3 grams for bulking. But monitor what you're doing. If you start to put a little bit of podge on, forget the protein, lower the carbs. If you're not really getting there, but you're keeping lean, up the carbs a little bit. It's that simple sometimes, it's scary. And some people would charge you £200-300 a month for them services to give you some coaching. I'm trying to save you money, guys. I'll tell you what, if you really want to do something, look into the 12-week program we've done. Just Google 12-week program. It's the LSC 12. We do a ripped one. We do a really, really awesome bodybuilding one. And we're about to bring a fat burning one out. So just to actually lose weight from people who maybe have just put a little bit of podge on. See you later, guys. Have a good one. Protein's important, kids. Don't forget it.